Welcome back. We're up to the ninth part, ninth part of the narrative of our enslaved ancestor, Mary Prince from Bermuda. And she's currently en route to England. We'll catch up with the story there. About this time, my master and mistress were going to England to put their son to school and bring their daughters home, and they took me with them to take care of the child. I was willing to come to England. I thought that by going there, I should probably get cured of my rheumatism and should return with my master and mistress quite well to my husband. My husband was willing for me to come away, for he had heard that my master would free me, and I hoped this might prove true, but it was all a false report. The steward of the ship was very kind to me. He and my husband were in the same class in the Moravian church. I was thankful that he was so friendly, for my mistress was not kind to me on the passage, and she told me when she was angry that she did not intend to treat me any better in England than in the West Indies, and I need not expect it, and she was as good as her word. When we drew near to England, the rheumatism seized my limbs worse than ever, and my body was dreadfully swelled. When we landed at the tower, I showed my flesh to my mistress, but she took no great notice of it. We were obliged to stop at the tavern till my master got a house, and a day or two after, my mistress sent me down to the wash house to learn to wash in the English way. In the West Indies, we wash with cold water, in England with hot. I told my mistress I was afraid that putting my hands first into the hot water and then into the cold water would increase the pain in my limbs. The doctor had told my mistress long before I came from the West Indies that I was a sickly body and the washing did not agree with me. But Mrs. Woods would not release me from the tub, so I was forced to do as I could. I grew worse and could not stand to wash. I was then forced to sit down with the tub before me, and often through pain and weakness was reduced to kneel or sit down on the floor to finish my task. When I complained to my mistress of this, she only got into a passion as usual and said washing in hot water could not hurt anyone, that I was lazy and insolent and wanted to be free of my work, but that she would make me do it. I thought her very hard on me, and my heart rose up within me. However, I kept still at that time and went down again to wash the child's things. But the English washerwomen who were at work there, when they saw that I was so ill, had pity upon me and washed them for me. After that, when we came to live in Lee Street, Mrs. Woods sorted out 5 bags of clothes, which we had used at sea, and also such as had been worn since we came on shore, for me and the cook to wash. Elizabeth, the cook, told her that she did not think I was able to stand to the tub, and that she had better hire a woman. I also said myself that I had come over to nurse the child, and that I was sorry I had come from Antigua, since mistress would work me so hard without compassion for my rheumatism. Mr. and Mrs. Woods, when they heard this, rose up in a passion against me. They opened the door and bade me get out, but I was a stranger and did not know one door in the street from another, and was unwilling to go away. They made a dreadful uproar, and from that day they constantly kept cursing and abusing me. I was obliged to wash, though I was very ill. Mrs. Wood indeed once hired a washerwoman, but she was not well treated and would come no more. My master quarreled with me another time about one of our great washings, his wife having stirred him up to do so. He said he would compel me to do the whole washing given to me, or if I again refused, he would take a short course with me. He would either send me down to the brig in the river to carry me back to Antigua, or he would turn me at once out of the doors and let me provide for myself. I said I would be willing to go back if he would let me purchase my own freedom, but this enraged him more than all the rest. He cursed and swore at me dreadfully and said he would never sell my freedom. If I wished to be free, I was free in England, and I might go and try what freedom would do for me and be dead. My heart was very sore with this treatment, but I had to go on. I continued to do my work and did all I could to give satisfaction, but all would not do. Shortly after the cook left them, and then matters went on 10 times worse. I always washed the child's clothes and without being commanded to do so, and anything else that was wanted in the family, though still I was very sick indeed. When the great washing came round, which was every 2 months, my mistress got together a great many heavy things, such as bed ticks, bed coverlets, etc., for me to wash. I told her I was too ill to wash such heavy things that day. She said she supposed I thought myself a free woman, but I was not. And if I did not do it directly, I should be instantly turned out of the doors. I stood a long time before I could answer, for I did not know well what to do. I knew I was free in England, but I did not know where to go or how to get my living, and therefore I did not like to leave the house. But Mr. Wood said he would send for a constable to thrust me out, and at last I took courage and resolved that I would no longer be treated thus, but would go and trust to Providence. This was the 4th time they had threatened to turn me out and go where I might. I was determined now to take them at their word, though I thought it was hard after I had lived with them for 13 years and worked for them like a horse to be driven out in this way like a beggar. My only fault was being sick, and therefore unable to please my mistress, who thought she never could get work enough out of her enslaved. And I told them so, but they only abused me and drove me out. This took place from 2 to 3 months, I think, after we came to England. I'll stop here. So we see she's in a bind here. She's literally free, but what is freedom without resources, right? And that happened in the Caribbean. The people would run away but could not sustain themselves, so they had to go back to the plantation. So I think that's part of the myth that people like to tell about slavery, that the enslaved enjoyed it. No, they were dependent on the system for their basic needs. So even when they ran away, without money, are you truly free in a capitalist world? So thank you for listening.